I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. I'm very inspired creating this because of one of PaulyWalnuts' video, Not Scared of Death. I remember like it was yesterday when it came out, being among the first to see it in an hour. I was sitting outside 2 a.m. in Malaysia, Ipoh, smoking a cigar, just miserable, reflecting on life, trying to find answers on how do I deal with how negative I feel. I have a perfectionist mentality and this video popped up in my feed. I clicked it, watched from start to finish, and it spoke volumes to me. It changed my outlook on life and realizing how precious life is and time being scarce. I don't know if you will see this video, but I found out about him from I just quit my job and I'm subscribed so I could see his latest content. It's very dope how simple his edits are and his voice is very captivating. It's very inspiring where he is now 12 months later, which motivates me to keep going with my channel as I see a real life example that I could duplicate with my own since I have so much to talk about. I want to show you guys a picture of my office space with 3 of my favorite albums, and I purchased these CDs last week. These albums resemble the mind state I am in to move forward with my life, as I need these to see it on my desk every day, which is very cool to show to you guys as I love music so much. It's like drugs for me. I can have a terrible day and great music will always uplift me no matter how I feel. Music is a very important part of my life. Before I dive into this video, feel free to subscribe and like this video if you benefit from it. Let's begin. Welcome. When I was young, I thought death was a horrible and frightening thing because there is no visual evidence to what happens after you die, which led me to intense curiosity trying to understand what happens in the afterlife. I remember I used to ask my mother all the time when I was really young, what happens when you die obsessively, and she would try to give me an answer that would comfort me just so I don't get scared. When you're young, your parents speak to you in a comfort way. Perhaps not your father, as your father wants to toughen you up, but my mother tried to comfort me so death doesn't keep me up at night as a child. At the time, it wasn't a pleasant thing to think about based on what other people stated from a religious aspect. I always heard that there is heaven and hell after you die, or maybe you teleport somewhere, which made me not look forward to this. We always associate death to this horrific experience, but what if I told you death is a great thing and you should be fearless towards it? As a 24-year-old, I have a complete different outlook on death versus when I was 10 years old. I look at it as a positive, knowing that I can go at any moment and never come back to this earth, since I never chose to come here in the first place. Death made me realize that your time is scarce. You can lose and make money back, but you can't get your time back ever. Time is always ticking forward, never backwards. If this is the truth, how would you spend your time knowing that you can be gone tomorrow and never come back here? What decisions need to be made and avoided knowing you can die at any moment? Knowing now that my time is scarce, it gives me the sense of urgency to hurry up with certain things. I need to be on go mode rather than staying complacent and having nothing to show for at the end of my life. In other words, drifting through life thinking you have infinite amount of time. Now, I'm not telling you all to only be present, also have in mind about building a better future, because this comes into play also that links with death in terms of what is the best decisions that I need to make that matches the outcome I want so I could set myself up for long term. This is all good. Repeating to you guys again that death makes you realize that your time is scarce, that you don't have much of it, that you can go at any moment. So how would you want to spend your time on this earth? What's important to you? And what decisions do you need to avoid to best set yourself up? A great example I can give you how majority of the population view time is this case right here. If this kid understood how valuable and scarce his time is, he would have thought twice about making a decision that ruined his whole life. He would have definitely realized how precious his life is, and this is why death is a great thing and you shouldn't be scared about it at all. Another example I can give you is with this YouTube channel. Imagine this changes my whole life 12 months later. filter which worked for others in that time frame. At this stage of my life, I'm 24 and I'm taking this very serious because it was something that I wanted to do since 2015. I'll pull up a screenshot of my old first channel, me playing BO3, and I'll link it below if you want to check out. That channel was very inspired by Ali A. I knew about Ali A in the BO2 era when he was showing early access to DLC's maps for BO2. When I was young, I would binge watch those videos because I loved playing BO1 and 2. And that's why I was making this kind of content in the first place, using PS4, one earphone, and Share Factory editing software inside the PlayStation to create and release straight from the PS4 to YouTube. And I didn't even know what I was doing, but I ended up quitting because I got discouraged and impatient. Like, why am I not getting millions of views? Why have I not blown up yet? I was 14 and had a wrong outlook on the process and patience. Whereas fast forward a decade later, I have a complete different outlook and understanding that I need patience, perseverance, and hypergamy. Hypergamy is everything when it comes to a process. In other words, you can't have your focus scattered into different routes. If my mind is like I need to focus on YouTube, crypto, trading, job, and this business and that business, I just can't get anything done, so I have to focus on one thing, which is this channel here, for a long period. And for me, this is art and skill that I'm doing right now. When I was 14, I didn't have urgency or understanding about death. I saw it as a terrifying experience from a religious aspect based on what I was told from others. Whereas now I have a different perspective, seeing it as a positive thing, which is very strange to say, right? It gives me the sense of urgency to get things done. I realizing that I don't have much time on this earth, that my time is scarce, that I could leave at any moment and never come back here. So how would I want to spend my time, and what do I need to avoid? Now, if you're wondering how I got about starting this channel, this all started because of why learn tech. Back in 2024, when I stumbled across this video here, I remember discovering this and my energy just went up with happiness. While being bored when I was working a customer service job, going through YouTube, this video came in my recommendations. He was playing one of my favorite games and I got interested in checking out his other content. I've spoken to him a few times. He's a, cool dude. He's a kind of person I get along with very well. A light bulb clicked inside my head and I immediately thought about making this type of content while showing Saints Row 2 gameplay, which is by far my favorite game of all time, which you can see here. Now, I'm not an Xbox user, mainly Sony, but I had to switch because I couldn't buy this game on PlayStation. This was all back in 2024 and it took me 2 years to act on this channel, and it's because of urgency, knowing that I could die at any moment, and this decision feels right to me. I feel like I have a lot to talk about because of my life experiences up until this point, which I think can help you all. Looking back now, how is it this kind of content got resurgence? And I feel as though people are craving this type of content, playing old games and talking about anything. I feel as though everything now is boring that comes out, and we are overly exposed to too much things, which is very difficult to get excited about something, which the content that I'm making now brought a child out of me because I grew up with these games, and YouTube, I've seen the evolution of it. Back in 2011, you had to type youtube.com in the search engine rather than having an actual app. Now, in this era, people believe they have infinite amount of time as if they are going to be here forever, and you're not. No sense of urgency whatsoever, and these people don't understand the purpose of death, which is just to be replaced, to move on, and realizing that nothing lasts. This happens with everything on earth: plants, animals, humans, and even gaming consoles. We have children, then we go, those have children and go, and the cycle repeats. We all have a date, and when that date arrives, we have to go, and we can't ever respawn in this GTA Online that we're all in. Best example I can give you about people not valuing their time, believing they have unlimited of it, is when new products or services come out. I don't know if you guys remember the AP and Swatch Pocket Watch collab. There's like hundreds of people queuing for this item. And I remember in Liverpool in the city centre here in the UK, there were so many women queuing. It was such a long line just for bagels. And it's like you can go to another cafe or maybe Starbucks to buy a bagel and save you so much time that you can use for productive use. I didn't know what these people were queuing for, and I found out about this online, and there was an article stating that a woman traveled for 3 hours from another city just for that. And for me, I don't have tolerance for that. I just can't be asked. I would rather rip my hair out than to wait in the queue. It's crazy. If I was going to die next week, do I want to spend it in the queue being around strangers for hours? Like, does the owners behind these products or services care about me as a person? They're just there more concerned about, am I going to spend money? Like, these people that wait in these queues don't value their time. It just shows me that they don't understand how valuable their time is. If I grabbed one of those people, sat them down and asked them, if you was going to die next week, would you want to spend it waiting in this queue? Most likely they're going to reply with, hell no. I would rather be with my family, take a vacation somewhere, start that business, or make an attempt to get a high paying job instead of waiting here for hours. It's absolutely insanity. Like, how do people don't look at life this way? This way of thinking completely changed my whole outlook on life, on how do I want to spend my time, what do I need to avoid, and most importantly, having a sense of urgency, being aware that time is running out. What do I need to get done? Whereas now I don't care about much things in terms of consumption, like for example, IRL streams, because it doesn't add value to my life. Like, why would I want to focus on other person's day? What about my day? What is the need for my life to exist if I'm focused on other person's life? It's just so stupid to me. But this is for some reason normalized, right, in society, that there are groups of people on this earth that helped other people turn this thing we call IRL into a career, right? Now, this is not me shitting on streamers. I'm just giving you a new perspective rather than going with everyone else. There's people on this earth right now that revolve their whole life around watching streamers, and it's like, buddy, have you not figured out that one day you will leave this earth and never come back here? Would you want to spend your precious time consuming this? And for some people, they'll be like, well, yeah, I do want to spend my time watching IRLs, Twitch, or Kick. And it's like, you do you, bro. But for me, I know that that's not the way I want to spend my time on this earth, as I will go at any moment. Another example I can give you is Tay Keith, the man that made many hits inside the music business. This man died at 29 years old. Like, he probably didn't even know that he was going to die at that age, and he had his whole life ahead of him, and sadly he was gone too soon. Now, I want to finally include jobs. For me, I can't work a job, bro, because it simply doesn't match the output that I desire, hence why I don't want to go forward with it. Do I want to wake up 20 to 30 years later and have nothing to show for it? I've seen this movie play out multiple times and don't want to repeat that for myself. I refuse that to be my outcome. I feel like I've said everything I needed to say, as I was so inspired to make this video for myself and for others, to give you all a perspective on death and giving you the sense of urgency to get things done. Realizing that life is very precious, your time is scarce, and you can go at any moment and never have the opportunity to come back when you leave. So how would you want to spend your time? What do you need to avoid, and what's important to you? You can't figure that out until you realize that you can die at any moment, that this perspective creates an urgency. Thank you all for watching up until this point. Take care.